finished watching two videos for class, and it was the Hans Rosling, the HIV, and the Michael Pritchard, how to make filthy water drinkable. They're both pretty good videos, and we're gonna talk about our responses to them. So, um, the Hans Rosling, it was really cool to see how time affected HIV. I didn't realize, like, I thought HIV was all, it was always there, and like, but as time goes on, more cases of HIV are coming about. So, yeah.
I thought it was cool. He talked a lot about how like prevention is the key. Like you can treat it and like make things better, but um, like the main thing is to be able to prevent it. Um,
And he said the only way to really do that was just to stop transmission.
Yeah. You can use like protection, like condoms, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I was watching when he was like just going through the years and how all the countries are moving. In 1992, Uganda actually started going the other way. So like it hit its peak, and then it started going back down. So it'd be interesting to see like what was the change in Uganda in that year that made them so that they were able to like flip around.
I was gonna say like along with that is when he was talking about how like what are the causes, like what makes those numbers spike. And he talked about how like it's not war and it's not just poverty. Like he pulled up some of the countries and clicked on them, and like the higher income countries actually had a higher HIV rate than some of the lower income countries, and so that was it's pretty crazy to me. That's the last thing I thought.
In Tanzania, I think was one of the ones he pulled up, and he like the different provinces or something, how the country was split, and it was almost like a direct line between the more well-off part. You can't see my hand, but the more well-off parts had more infected or like a higher percent infected than the lowest income parts.
Yeah.
I thought it was really crazy how it said that 30 to 40 million people are affected by HIV and AIDS, and that's 1% of the total adult population. So that's a lot of people.
They said it was like taking the entire state of California and everyone would be infected. Like that, it's crazy to think about.
I just thought it was cool, like how he was talking about how Africa, like not all of Africa is like super infected. It's like more of like certain parts, and like the like most dense part that had like the most HIV.
Yeah.
It said that it was 4% of the world population. Like 50% of the HIV infected persons are in that 4%.
Yeah.
So
it's like the map was all colorful, and then you have that little chunk of Africa, and it's all blue. Like it's not just like little spots everywhere. It's the whole thing. Like there's so many people affected in that area, and it makes you wonder why is that area so affected, because of sanitation or because they just don't have the knowledge, or like
what the deal
is. I don't know. I guess we don't really have an answer.
The second video, the guy was basically talking about just like how to think differently, like how to make a difference, like with drinking water, and like right now, like the first thing that we do when a disaster happens is we send like bottled drinking water. And he said that I think it was Katrina that it took like 5 days or something to get water to them.
And plus, it costs more because like all that plastic and the shipping costs and time. Obviously, time is money. So like saving lives by sanitizing water.
Yeah, and think about like how many people. He didn't really talk about this, but how many people died in those first 4 days? You know, just because they didn't have clean water. We could prevent that easily.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool how he was talking, how he made the bottle that will filter through like these smallest organisms and smallest viruses and bacteria and stuff that will keep people from getting diarrhea and like little kids from dying from diarrhea. Like, I don't know, I just thought that was so sad that
he was talking about that river, and he said like I think it was like half the people that drink from it will like automatically get diarrhea.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge percentage
Uh-huh.
and like easily preventable, 100%.
And the scale of the problem seems so huge because so many people get diarrhea and they just get sick. But really, it just comes down to like thinking through problems. And I even in high school I went on an envirothon, and we did things like this. Like we had competitions where we filtered water and who could have the cleanest water so that you can drink out of it. So it really just comes down to like education and what you can do with it.
I just go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say the coolest part that I thought was like in a case. I mean, he said it could work for other things, not just natural disasters, just on like a daily basis. But when he was talking about in the case of a natural disaster, like it not only does it prevent diarrhea and like those deaths, but it also prevents like everyone from congregating to like one place. Like he said, they're all they just like pitch tents and they're all in the same place, which spreads a ton of other diseases and like takes time and energy to travel, and like when you don't have a lot of like the resources to like help you out. But like if we could send water to or get these bottles to them in their homes, and then that would save like so much time. And
yeah, like that whole idea of thinking differently, new thinking, like what are the problems and how do you fix it? And I thought that was so cool how he created something that could be brought to the people instead of them having to come together. And like the bottle filters, what was it, like 1,000 liters?
6,000.
6,000 liters, yeah. And then like he made a can that filters 25,000 liters, and that'll be good for a family of 4 for 3 years.
And that's half a cent a day.
Yeah,
which is
literally
nothing.
Instead of shipping water with man-made processes, this is Mother Nature doing its work. Like it's totally natural, and small people don't have to walk miles and miles a day with big chugs of water on their head, and they can save time, and that kind of boosts their economy too, because all the time that they spend going to fetch water, they can be educating themselves and doing other things and like specializing, yeah. And so the small kids that die every year from this water that they'd go fetch, they'll live. So that saves them time, energy, and illness. So
that's a really good point.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about that like maybe it was like a different video we watched, but people, I think it might have been like on education or something or poverty. But
the washing machine one.
I don't know. But like people don't have time to work or to gain an education because they're so busy doing things like that are so simple to us, like getting water, But that like journey can take, depending on where you live, or can take hours or days or however long. But like if we just could put water in their homes, like their whole economy, their whole style of living would change completely.
Just with a few pumps, it can make safe, sterile drinking water. Instead of miles and miles, just a few, like hardly any effort, just a few pumps of water in this, this bottle. Yeah, so